Hello, I'm Ricky Gervais. As the Canadian physician William Osler once said, the desire to take medicine is perhaps the greatest feature which distinguishes man from animals. From keyhole surgery to stem cell research, modern medicine enables the 20th century man to play God. But how did we get here? What incremental advances through the ages gave birth to the medical wonders of today? Here to discuss the history and practice of medicine are Stephen Merchant, graduate from the University of Warwick and now award-winning writer.
Thank you very much indeed.
And Karl Pilkington, a man with no qualifications, very little education, but who is now known the world over as a shaven chimp with a head like a fucking orange.
Alright.
Well, there is obviously so much to discuss, Ricky. I wonder, in an effort just to provoke some initial thoughts, if I can offer another quote from the great Carl Sagan, who said, advances in medicine and agriculture have saved vastly more lives than have been lost in all the wars in history. So quite a...
Yeah, just shows you shouldn't really worry about war.
What do you mean?
It's not a big problem, is it? Obviously. So, that's a good point there, Carl. War's not as bad as a lot of people make out. What do you think, Carl? Overrated? Too much fuss about all...
Well, I don't know anyone who's died in a war, but I know loads of people who have died from, you know, cancer and what have you. So, is that going on Carl's quote? Does that work? Is he right? What did he say?
Good, well we're off to a fascinating start. I think it's probably best, Rick, if we return to the very beginning of time, the dawn of man, because of course, even in primitive, prehistoric ages, medicine was practiced in some ways, from the research people have done, cave paintings and the like. Carl, I wonder if you would just give us your initial thoughts on, you know, the medicine of the ancient world.
You've not... You sound like you haven't studied it, or you've been...
You've been modest.
You've been modest?
Never really thought about it.
What do you think?
They didn't have much. I know that Tutankhamun,
Tutankhamun?
he died of having a knee injury. So they didn't have that much medicine knocking about back then.
Right, where do you get this information from? It sounds vague.
I read it at an exhibition I went to, and
did you read the whole sentence, or just...
No, I just saw they had some video footage made up. It wasn't from the time, and they just sort of said this is probably what happened.
Sure. Did you put the headphones on and listen, though, or do you just guess it from the pictures?
I just looked because I couldn't have the headphones.
Of course not.
Why couldn't you have the headphones?
They're expensive.
How much?
About 50 quid, I think, deposit and everything.
Well, you get that back though if you return them. All you have to do is take them off your head and hand them in.
I don't like the idea of handing money over, because it's like when you get a flat and that and you put a deposit in, you never get the full deposit back. I don't like deposits.
Well, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to take 50 quid off because you put wallpaper on your headphones.
No, but it's
not the same, is it?
Exhibition.
So you're going to deprive yourself of education because you don't trust...
deprive me. I saw it.
The Natural History Museum.
It came off a chariot. The dangerous things.
He came off a chariot. You saw that on the... How do you know he died? How could you tell from visual images that Tutankhamun died from a knee injury?
It's just... honestly, you're going to make yourself look daft here, because that's what happened.
Imagine that. In a room with Karl Pilkington, we make ourselves look daft. How would we have to... that would be incredible.
So aside from Tutankhamun's knee injury, that's pretty much your grasp of the ancient world of medicine?
Well, I don't know anyone else who's knocking about.
Well, what about if we go back even further? What about if we go to sort of primitive man, cave-dwelling man? What do you know there of medicine in that early stage?
They didn't really bother.
Okay, is that guessing, or
wasn't the earliest ones like people like shaman and those
absolutely, of course,
tribal lords that would say, well, that was I assume even pagan man had sort of apothecaries that certain roots and
shaman who would use herbs and so on. But of course, if we go back to primitive man, you're obviously familiar. I believe it's pronounced is it trepanning?
Oh, when you take the top of your head off and let out the demons. And
they found various skulls from ancient man with holes bored in the top, some of which had healed over, suggesting that they had indeed drilled holes in their head, or presumably they wouldn't have had drills in that point, cracked the head, and in their thinking letting out evil spirits, and then they healed back over. So in some instances, the people survived.
Don't you think it's fascinating that there was at one point when man discovered that this thing that we now call the brain, which sort of houses the mind, he knew was in his head.
It's not that amazing.
Well, no, it's not to you, because you know it's there. But
No, but back then, I reckon I'd know that's where it is.
why? Can you feel where you're thinking?
Well, it just makes sense to put it there.
What do you
Why?
mean?
When you think and you speak, it comes out your mouth. So it just makes sense that whatever's near that is near to the mouth. If your brain was in your foot, it'd take ages for you to say anything.
No, it wouldn't. Why?
Yeah. This is like actually talking to a primitive man about his understanding of medicine. They would have more insight. By this point, we'd have just cracked open your head to get the demons out. Shall we move on to the ancient world in terms of Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, of course, because they made huge advances, particularly the Romans, who understood, of course, the importance of sanitation. You know, famously, their streets were clean.
Yeah. Don't you think that if we hadn't have cleaned up as much, that, I don't know, we'd be stronger?
What?
Well, I know what you mean. Yeah,
They say now, don't they? They say feed
let
the
your
baby,
kids eat
eat
dirt.
mud and
Yeah,
all
of
that.
course. Well, that's building up its sort of immunity system. If you're too cosseted, you don't fight it. And that's exactly what immunisation is, giving you a bit.
Yeah, but
of
it's
the
gone
disease.
mental now. Whenever a baby's born, he's drugged out of its eyeballs. It's only
do you
about a
mean?
week old. They're giving it all sorts of shots.
Like what?
Loads of stuff for whooping cough.
Yeah, you don't want whooping
sugar
cough.
lumps.
Tutankhamun could have died of whooping
No,
cough.
but they give it loads of stuff. And now it's like, I don't know, it's making us weak.
Yeah. Soon there's going to be things that, one, we're not immune to, and two, our antibiotics no longer work, because of course things like the viruses and bacteria or whatever, they evolve and change so quickly that you can't keep up with them, and also there's this big thing, like the superbug, for example. There's a very strong theory that says that it's where people took half the course of antibiotics, and what it did was, it was almost like an immunisation to the bacteria and virus against the antibiotic. They got stronger.
That's what I mean.
So yeah, we need some germs, as you'd call them. But there are some that we have eradicated. I mean, I think it was in our lifetime that they eradicated smallpox from the world. They just stopped it, and it saved, millions and millions of lives. And they wiped it out.
There are rumours, of course, that both Russia and America still have the smallpox virus under lock and key, which they could theoretically breed and use in a chemical warfare situation.
Well, there was a bit of a scandal a few years ago, I think 10 years ago, where in a university laboratory, someone came across a marked yogurt pot in deep freeze that had smallpox in it. That was a hangover from the 70s.
When you say it was marked, was it like someone's put their name on it because they don't want someone to eat their smallpox yogurt?
I think they looked into it, and it was the deep frozen
Wow.
smallpox virus that thawed out
They
and
just
released.
left in a fridge.
Well, I think so. Yeah,
I'm
it was
worried.
an
I don't
admin
understand.
problem. I'm sure that it's somewhere. What I mean is, it's under lock and key or frozen at minus
So that's
200
not good
degrees
enough, is
centigrade.
it?
Why?
Under lock and key and all that. It's not good enough. Get rid of it. Why are they keeping a little tub of smallpox knocking about?
Well, are they not meant to be?
Well,
No,
that's
but
a
what are they doing
lesson.
there in the first place? To me, that's like in James Bond, where they don't kill him when they have the chance. There's always that little thing of, let's play with danger, let's keep a bit.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Pop it
probably
next to AIDS in the Kiora bottle. I don't understand why you'd store that.
Well, there's probably a presumption, it's probably an overhang from the Cold War, where people were thinking, well, listen, what if Russia's still got some smallpox? We better hang on to some smallpox.
It's just
Yeah.
clutter though as well, isn't it? You see, we're obsessed. We're keeping stuff. And it's the same with germs. We can't even say, get rid of that. We won't be needing it. Smallpox. We'll keep it just in case. Get rid of it. We've got this obsession thing again. It's saving everything. It's like how we save every animal, even a germ. We get upset about if it dies out.
Yeah,
Keep a
but
bit,
well,
keep a bit.
you say that, but of course, famously Alexander Fleming discovered what may be the most important breakthrough of the 20th century, which was the first antibiotic, I think, in 1928, and he's literally saved hundreds of millions of lives with that, changed the face of modern medicine, and he discovered that because he left a bit of old bread out for a while, and it went all mouldy in his kitchen, and he thought, oh, what's that? Oh. Let's have a look.
Like I've said to you before, it's down to him being scruffy more than anything. It just seems like there's a lot of scruffy kitchens around that, I mean, you're saying...
But think if his cleaner had come in and gone, "Oh, Mr. Fleming, you disgust me, you fucking filthy, scruffy cunt. I'm going to throw all this bread away." He's going to go, "Maud, what'd you do with that, old bread I left out?" "It'd gone green, sir, so I chucked it away." "Oh, Maud, you dopey fucking slut. You've just caused millions and millions of people to die. Keep out of my fucking kitchen."
I know, but don't put it there. It's the same way smallpox in a yogurt pot. It's in a yogurt pot.
Wow.
You're asking for trouble.
But what if Maud had come in and thrown that away? Again?
He couldn't shout at her. She's doing a job. I'd be annoyed if it was still there.
Yeah,
I'd say it's been here now for a couple of weeks. You haven't even asked. There's a lot of cleaners. That's part of the problem, I'd say. The cleaners. They're not doing the job. That's the problem in hospitals, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's filth everywhere.
Well, they proved a point. In one hospital, they brought a team of people in to show doctors and nurses how to clean things properly, and deaths went down 30%.
There you go.
Just from properly washing your hands and properly washing the floor and things. That's amazing, isn't it?
It's pretty simple. Just don't put, like, yogurt pots with smallpox in the fridge.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
but
a starter.
Yeah, but you were saying earlier... let's let babies eat mud, don't inject them.
Yeah, but
let them crawl around a dirty floor, clean up the floor and no one will die.
I did say that, but we've gone too far now. Babies are coming out mad. Oh, they can't handle anything now. Oh, he's got a runny nose. They're coming out all mardy.
Get mardy?
Ill. Yeah, they get ill easy. They're not tough babies anymore. We're ending up with a load of weak people who need looking after all the time. That costs a lot of money. And they can't do anything. They're useless. Now, that doesn't happen in other nature. If a little weak bird is born, you see Bill Oddie saying that won't last. he says that won't last a week, and he's right. You watch it and you say, "Oh, that third baby that came out, it died." And
but what's
right.
your point, Carl? That modern medicine, which can help people live to the age of 75, 80, that it shouldn't be doing that? It should let people just die off?
Well, here's something, right? The estate that I grew up on, there's a woman there.
Yeah.
Scruffy Sandra.
I like her already. Oh, it's great. It's so descriptive.
Now,
she had no chance, even if she cleaned up her act.
Yeah.
She'd come in looking like Pretty Woman. You go, "All right, Scruffy."
No,
What's the point? What is the point?
So the thing is, she used to always get on these buses called dialer rides that were sort of like posh taxis. You could call for one, it'd come round to your house, and it would pick you up and you'd pay like 50p.
But it would pick up a bunch of other people as well.
Yeah, on the way. So it would take ages to get to where you're going.
That is.
Oh, it's good though. It's kind of a bit of a day out. Old people used to love it because you'd get to see things.
Right.
And you'd hear a call coming in on the radio that, Scruffy Sandra's being picked up, and you go, "Oh God." And she'd always have loads of bin bags with her for some reason. Now the thing is...
Well, she sounds clean.
She stunk.
Well, she's taken out the
Was
bin
she
bag,
homeless?
No, she wasn't homeless. No, she used to she just didn't bath and that. She just stunk. But the weird thing is...
Why did they call her Stinky Sandra?
She never was ill.
Right.
People didn't sit next to her.
Yeah.
Because she stunk.
Yeah.
Now, because of that, anyone who might have had a bit of flu or a cold never sat next to Scruffy Sandra.
Right.
Because she stunk. But that was good. That was like a protection thing for her, because she knew that because she stunk, no one wants to sit next to her, she wouldn't pick up the germ.
Right. Now, but this is quite... Your point is, in order to fend off illness, you have to not bathe, and so you stink.
So you're saying that it wasn't that she'd built up an immunity, it was that she stank so much that flu wouldn't come near her.
This is such a specific example. It's not applicable in any other scenario.
There's always colds, there's always flu. It's whether your immunity is good or bad. The times I get ill are usually after like a long haul flight or something, when you're surrounded by it and you're run down a little bit.
Or maybe if you didn't bathe for 3 days before the flight.
Yeah. So it's always there. There's colds and flus everywhere. That's interesting, isn't it? That more sort of colds are spread through shaking hands than people, just taking in the air. Because people sneeze into their hand, and they think that's sort of safer. But then they shake hands, and you get it on your hand, and it sort of dies in the air quickly, but it stays on your skin a bit more because it's, you're nice and warm, lovely environment. So that's why some sort of germaphobes don't even shake hands anymore.
Yeah, but that's going too far, because they're going to die or something. You can't be that paranoid. You've got to get on with your life.
Loneliness.
And it's good to feel ill, because when you feel better, you appreciate how good you feel.
Doesn't make any sense at all. It's good to feel ill. Doesn't make any sense at all.
No, it does afterwards. The other weekend, when I was ill, I don't know what was up with me, but I got something.
Symptoms?
Went to the toilet a lot, felt sick at the same time, got a sweat on, felt weak, had the shakes.
Just a bug, yeah.
Lasted probably about 24 hours. After that 24 hours, you go, oh, I feel good again. It's nice to feel good again. And it makes you appreciate how good you feel. Now, sometimes I don't know if I feel well.
Doesn't make any sense at all either. What do you mean, sometimes you don't know whether you feel well?
Because I've been in my body for years.
Here he goes again.
Go on, yeah.
Here he goes again.
Now,
the two minds.
If there was some sort of kit that the doctor said, how are you feeling, Mr. Pilkington? And I go, oh, I think I feel all right. And they go, well, do you? I don't know. And they go, well, step into the machine, right? Get into the machine, and if he could somehow transfer my feeling into his body, so I could feel how he feels, and then he can feel how I feel, and he'll go, oh, you're not well at all. Your heartbeat's irregular for a start.
You're a maniac.
This is... I don't know what's going on here.
Because why don't you just accept that if you feel well, you know...
Because you don't know if you feel well.
Hang on, let's get this machine built. Sorry, why are people bothering studying AIDS? We've got to get this machine built.
Listen, this machine could do a lot of good if they could do it.
Why?
Because some people... You hear about people who go, oh, I think I've got a bit of wind. Before you know it, they drop down dead. Right? Because they didn't know. They just... Well... Didn't Mr. Jones have a sweat on, Mrs. Jones, before? Oh yeah, he did, but he always had a sweat on. Well, didn't it bother him? No, he was used to it. Happened for years. Why didn't you come in? Oh,
so, and what would the machine do again?
The machine would make my doctor
Yeah.
feel like me. He'd be sat there and he'd go...
Sorry, who's saying to Mrs. Jones, didn't Mr. Jones have a sweat on?
The doctor.
So the doctor knew he had a sweat on. Why didn't the doctor say, well,
No.
we gotta look at that?
No, he didn't. He asked
He's not a
Mrs.
very
Jones.
good doctor, though, is he? He's not a very good doctor, then.
Yeah, but this is the problem now, isn't it?
Right, so
Because there's too
Mr.
many
Jones
ill
went to the
people.
doctor and said, oh, I've got a sweat on, right?
Right, so he'd go, well, I'll tell you what, get in the machine. So Mr. Jones gets in the machine.
Yeah.
The doctor hits the button. Mr. Jones gets into the doctor. The doctor goes, you have got a sweat on. I'm familiar with this because I had a fella in the other day with a similar thing. Take 3 of these.
You are a mental case. I don't know what this is.
Because
But why can't the
what is
doctor
this-
make that observation like a doctor
Yeah.
does? Why
What
can't the
is this-
doctor, using his knowledge, observe the
I
person
tell
with the
you
sweat
why.
on?
I tell you
This is
why.
like a scene from Ghost. This is
Right.
like Patrick Swayze.
Listen, do you
borrowing...
know that time when I went to the doctor's and he said my nerves are too short?
That doesn't make any sense at
still
all.
don't know
But
what that
listen,
was.
I've told you about it. I don't want to go through it again. But he looked at my legs and stretched them and that. He said, "Yeah, it's the old short nerves problem." Now, that took like 3 visits before he worked that out.
Right.
But how would he be able... Just because if he was feeling how you were feeling, that wouldn't help him identify it,
Yeah,
would it?
you're there in your body and you're not going, bloody hell, my nerves are a bit short. Doctor, you go into the doctor, okay, and we're just going to place Pilkington with
Right.
some...
I'll tell you
Pilkington
the
is in me.
problem.
Oh, my nerves are too short.
When my nerves were short,
Are they not short already? Have they extended since then?
well, I just have to do stretches and it's pulled them about.
Right.
But when I had that, I'm not very good with words.
Go on.
So when I was going in saying, "Doctor, my knee's aching," and he'd go, "What sort of ache is it?" I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just an ache. And
Toothache. It's like a toothache in my
No,
leg.
but it's different.
Go
It's
on.
a different ache. Now the thing
Arseache.
is,
It's like an arseache.
it's hard to explain an ache.
So he'd
Yeah.
have to feel the ache, and then he could make an assumption from it.
Thank you.
So he would presumably go through training, going in the machine, and they'd bring in various sick people, and he would experience and feel every single ailment.
Great.
Yeah, but over.
Doctor, I'm going to let you know now what a swift kick in the bollocks feels like, just in case you ever have to diagnose that. Oh, you can't! I can't remember that one.
Yeah, but
Doctor, now you're going to feel a spike up the arse.
it's all about.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, I can't remember that one. Okay.
No,
Doctor-
couldn't I just wait until the man comes in with a spike up my arse?
No, you got to tell you so you know
But
when
I
you
reckon
feel
I could
it.
assess it. If he's coming, he's got a spike up his arse, I'd
You've
be able
got
to
to
tell.
experience everything before someone comes in and gets into your body like Ghost, and you'll know what it is.
Hey, listen, let's not dismiss this idea out of hand, of course, because you'll famously remember, Rick, that Carl had the idea of a man who can grow backwards. So he's born as an old man,
Yeah.
and when he dies, he's a young baby. I think we're all looking forward to the new Brad Pitt film. That is exactly that plot.
a bit strange.
It's not really strange, is it? Because it's from a novel, I think written before Carl was born.
That's true. That is true. Yes.
Yeah,
So
but I
actually-
haven't read it.
Well,
so
that's obvious.
It's just an idea. and with all ideas comes something. Einstein said that. He said if an idea isn't...
Go on. Wait. Just let him finish.
Einstein say?
We've got an Einstein quote here.
Yeah.
This is an historic day. Carl, sorry, what were you saying? What did Albert Einstein say?
He just said something along the lines of...
Well, no. Give us the quote. Give us the
No,
quote.
it doesn't matter about how he worded it. It's the point in hand.
Well, I think it is. I think a quote. I think like all, any sort of poetic content of anything is exactly how it's worded. So just what did Einstein say exactly?
Well, he said something along the lines of...
Go on.
An idea. If an idea isn't daft...
Oh, start again.
No, come on, let's hear it.
No, because he started.
He said if an idea isn't daft, it isn't worth thinking about.
What? Say it again?
If an idea isn't daft, it isn't worth thinking about.
I can't imagine him saying
No, I
daft.
can.
Well, it was something like that, though, meaning that every new idea seems a bit mental,
Yeah,
right?
that's a good
But
point.
then it leads to something.
Well,
I'm not sure that he...
no,
But
no.
I think if we were sat with Einstein now and you'd brought up the machine that allows doctors to feel, I don't think he'd be saying we should
No.
pursue that idea.
There's some ideas that go that I think the Earth might be round. Who go, oh, you idiot, it's flat. And then there's people who stand in doorways covered in crucifixes with tinfoil on their head, saying Jesus is in my cock.
Yeah. But
Now he's a mentalist.
yes, but what I'm saying is, wouldn't you have said it was mental years ago when someone said, I'm going to make a machine so I can look inside your head? Years on, hello, get in the machine, we've got an MRI scanner. It's the next one along.
You'd go, they'd go, well, why are you looking in their head? It's where the brain is.
I'll tell you what, we've got similar to it anyway, because I've read about this machine where, right, say if, put it on Steve, right?
Go on.
I wear a camera on my head.
Right, if this is going to be I can see Steve's thoughts.
No, but it's similar to that, and it works as well. So, I put a camera on Steve's head.
Okay, it's changed already. Whose head the camera on?
I don't think it matters.
Okay,
Okay,
fine.
okay, well, okay,
Let's
okay.
put
Just
the camera
explain
on
it to me.
Steve's head.
Okay,
right,
okay, the
we've got a
camera's-
camera on Steve's head.
Right,
What I've got on my head are some goggles.
right,
Over your eyes?
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
You've got the camera. Through my goggles, I'm seeing what your camera's seeing.
And where's the camera? Is it looking out from my eyes?
Yeah. Right?
So basically you can see what I can
So
see.
I'm seeing what you see.
But couldn't you just stand where I'm standing?
Well, it's just a monitor. Well, that happens now. Yeah, you can
listen,
all have
I
the same
haven't
monitor.
Hang on.
finished.
So
Okay.
wait.
So, how does it work now? Hang
Well,
on a
no,
minute.
wait. We're
Hang
all,
on a minute.
you're, this is you're at the Royal College of Surgeons. You're presenting this idea now. Everyone in the world is sat down here. The eminent scientists. They're going, "Can't believe He's a genius. He's got an idea for cameras and goggles."
No, you're saying this already exists.
This has just come out the other week.
Oh, okay.
Put a camera on Steve's eyes. He sees through the camera.
What
I've
do you
got
mean?
the goggles
Why
on.
is he seeing through a camera? I don't know what you mean. He's just got is it
Wherever
filming
he looks, the camera's looking.
Okay, so it's a camera, right? Okay,
It's
yeah.
a camera on his head.
It's not seeing through it. It's just seeing what he sees because it's pointing in exactly the same direction as his
Yeah,
eyes.
if he turns his head to the right,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
will see.
So it's monitored so you're looking at a monitor really.
Right. So one of the simplest ideas, but it's taken us 20 minutes to explain it.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Right.
So it's the same as a cameraman pointing the camera anywhere. We're watching the telly. We're seeing what the cameraman sees, basically. Go on then.
but it's not like
You've
that.
just invented television. Well done.
Okay, right. So I've got the camera on my head. It's seeing what I'm seeing. Go.
Right.
You've got goggles on your eyes.
I've got goggles on. If you turn right, I feel like I'm turning right.
Okay.
Now my
Yeah.
brain gets
Yeah.
to a point that if you wear it for long enough, that brain thinks it's you. Because what happens
What?
is, because the brain's being kidded. At the end of the day, my brain thinks it's seeing everything because my eyes are looking at stuff.
Yeah, no, that's true. But it doesn't think I'm Steve Merchant. It experienced what Steve's seeing. This like a virtual reality.
No, but that's the weird thing. If you wear it for long enough, the brain's sort of seeing it like Steve's arm go up to his head and scratch it, and it gets to a point where the brain feels a scratch, even though it's not scratching my head. So they're saying this is like you're kidding your brain, basically.
I
can
can see
kick
how
your
that would
brain.
work. I
But
see
you're
how
not.
that would
You
work.
don't. You're not going to believe that you're me.
No, you're
you're
not
not going
believing
to
Steve
start
Merchant.
experiencing life as I experience it.
My brain would.
What do you mean your brain would, but you wouldn't?
Because
We've
I'm
done this,
kidding.
Steve.
I'm kidding the
We've
brain.
done this.
Yes, but you couldn't kid it into thinking you're me. You wouldn't forget that you're Carl wearing a contraption.
But what it was saying is if someone went up to your stomach and started tickling you, my brain would look down and see that someone is tickling me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'd start laughing.
I can understand you
No,
might.
you wouldn't. No, you would. Well, yeah, you might do because it might be a confusing
But
stimulus.
yes, but the point is, there may be certain physical things which you experience through it, but you're not going to stop thinking, hang on, I'm Carl wearing the mask, are
No.
you?
But you can do that.
You're thinking you're Carl, seeing all the things that
Yeah,
actually.
you're going to
Steve
start
did,
having memories that you think are your... What, your memories are going to change? You're not going to remember your name, you're not going to remember Suzanne's name? What are you talking about?
No, but say if we did that at that event with a load of students in front of us, I'd remember that day through your eyes.
Right,
So I'd be living your day.
But you'd also remember
that's
that you were
your
wearing
life.
a contraption.
Yeah.
You wouldn't remember it as being, oh, I was Steve Merchant for a day.
But I
Yeah,
kind
we
of
have
was.
different thoughts because you'd access. But look, Carl, listen. I sat down and we watched the same thing. We watched a bit of Brokeback Mountain, and we
Yeah.
all had different thoughts.
Yeah, because we're all sat in different places.
No, roughly speaking, we had the same experience when we're looking at the same thing. But it doesn't mean you assess it the same way, it doesn't mean you understand it the same way, and it doesn't mean you apply the knowledge in the same way.
No, I understand that, but
It's an interesting experiment. It is interesting. It'd be interesting to see it live. You're actually living. It's a different window to the world.
well, yeah. Say if like I was a fellow with no arms and legs, but these goggles had a really long lead, and you went about living your day, and I was looking through your eyes, I could have quite an interesting life.
Yes, you could,
Without
but you
the
wouldn't
axle.
stop remembering that you're the person wearing the contraption.
And also,
But what is life?
Yeah,
Life
but
is what you experience.
Yeah, but if Steve went off, but you'd know this, wouldn't you? I mean,
Well, would you? If you stuck one on a baby?
Well, yeah, that's different. Yeah,
Well,
I
there
mean,
you go.
if a baby knew no different, and those were his experience, then he would be feeling what he thought he was. Then there'd be nothing. But then, you know, let's face it, tickling someone is the sensation. It's not the thought. It's not the concept of being
No, it's
tickled.
not
is
though,
funny.
because if someone goes to tickle you, but they don't tickle you, you can actually laugh, can't you? Because you go, oh God, I know what the feeling's going to be like.
Yes, because you've already experienced the real thing.
Yeah. I still think there's
Well,
something
so
in it.
stop that sentence there, and you're lying.
Let's go back, if we may, shall we, to just some of the extraordinary early developments in medicine. Do you mind if we
Yes.
go back, just get back on message? There are, of course, a number of extraordinary developments. You may obviously be aware, Carl, that the first contraceptive diaphragms, centuries ago, were citrus rinds. Half an orange rind, for instance, would be used.
I mean, more selfish men turned them inside out.
I believe that's also still being used in parts of Manchester.
For what?
An orange. Just think of your head.
And it worked.
Well, we don't know at this juncture.
I mean, maybe. I don't
It
know.
works as contraception because women went, fuck off, what are you coming to me with a fucking orange on your cock for, you dirty cunt?
But it could. I mean, again, it's that thing in it of we look at it now and we laugh. But look at what's happening. People now are always trying to get us to eat more fruit.
I don't.
Amazing.
That's a way of getting.
I thought for a minute he was going to say,
I
okay,
know.
so they start with, then they went from the orange rind to say a coconut shell.
Yeah.
That was too big. That didn't work.
Run! Here
Yeah.
comes Coconut John!
No, don't put half a pineapple on your cock. That's insane.
Yeah, that's mental.
And then somewhere down the line, they finally got to contraception as we understand it. Is that? I thought that's where you're going, but no. Something about eating oranges is healthy
No,
for you.
what I'm saying is, if you go into any well-known supermarket and you look at, say, some young kid who's had a kid, and you look at stuff in their shopping basket,
Yeah.
they're not buying fruit. They're buying, burgers and chips.
Turkey Twizzlers,
Yeah,
crisps.
and all that. No, but they love having it away. Get some fruit in. So they definitely have fruit in the house, which at the moment, a lot of kids don't have fruit in their house. That's why they're eating Turkey Twizzlers. But the mum loves having it away. So she would have loads of fruit in.
So if
everyone's happy.
If
The
she
kids
was
are
using
eating
an
fruit.
orange for contraception, she would also be giving the kids.
Well, you wouldn't waste
So half
it.
the orange she'd give to the kids, and half the orange she'd stick up her penny.
Yeah, a treat for everyone. Have a bit of fruit, and she's got what she wants. Whereas at the moment, what happens? A burger's not coming in helpful for anyone.
If you want me tonight, pop a sesame seed bone on your cock. Take out the fucking pickle. No one likes a fucking pickle up the fanny. Oh, he's a bloody romantic. He popped a plum roast sausage up my fanny yesterday. He loves me. Oh no. Right.
I'm looking forward, of course, to. I'm hoping it'll be Dennis Norden's Laughter File, Volume 7.
Oh, 7. You're having a laugh. 27.
It used to be It'll Be Alright on the Night, but I think they've changed the name to Dennis Norden's Laughter
Well,
File.
it's great though, isn't it? Because he comes. You're one of those people,
one of those
because
people.
this is something we call doorstop,
Yeah.
and it's sort of like, just what, yeah. And doesn't he just go into the Director
This
General?
is one called Let Sleeping Logs Die.
Yeah. It's just, oh
But
god.
what I don't understand is why no one has said to him, or why hasn't he watched that TV? Why hasn't he, at Christmas, right, he's gone home with the family, he's gone, come on everyone, let's watch my show, and he's watched it.
It's
and
Laughter File 27.
left-
Dennis
Laughter
Norton.
File, and
That's
the
me.
family must have been faking laughter, and why has he not turned around and gone, why did no one tell me I'm crap?
Why doesn't he go to Greg Dyke and go, or whatever it's on?
Well,
like,
it's ITV, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, what was that then?
ITV Task, it's
Who's in
Paymasters,
charge?
I don't know, they
I
change
know,
every
yeah.
week, don't they?
But
That's
got
why we
to
don't
go,
work with them.
just watched me on that Laughter File 27. It's rubbish, isn't it? And they go, yeah. I go, well, why didn't you tell us? Well, we thought it would kill you, to be quite honest. But why didn't you let my son take over or something? Well, Dennis, he's 84.
How old am I then?
Well, we don't know. We've had you carbon dated, but it's off the scale. But why'd you let me carry that stupid file? Are you reading this now, Dennis?
Oh, I can't
yeah.
remember what I got to say.
Well, don't read it. Just speak normally.
2 coffees, please, waiter. I'm on the
No,
wrong sheet. I don't know what I'm
this
doing.
is what we call talking to the Director General. Stop it! But I can't wait for that. Yeah, and
Dennis
oh,
Norton's Laughter
there is
File.
two.
Can I just say one? Who's in the audience of Dennis Norton? Like, who's gone? Joan, I got 2 tickets for Laughter File. I can't believe
Yeah,
I laughed.
I've been on the internet.
Because they're always they're cracking up the people on that show. I've never laughed once.
Maybe it was an audience that they filmed in 1973, where it was the first time they saw a goalkeeper get hit in the balls or something, or Jackie Charlton or something, or a dog fall off a slide.
Well, it's either old people who just can't remember, they've already seen those clips 1,000 times before, like
Yeah.
Alzheimer's thing, or it's I was always thinking of the people at what's that show Beadle used to do, the You've Been Framed.
You've Been Framed.
I think now what's happening is while Lisa Riley's doing all the scripted jokes, there's just someone stood behind her, maybe just showing a picture of her, like nude, or in a bikini, or just pointing and just making jokes at her expense.
Exactly,
That's
yeah.
why they're laughing.
He's lovely, Lisa Riley, off Emmerdale, of
Good old
course.
Fatty Riley.
No, don't say it's not fat. It might be glad you don't know.
He could be glad.
No, just stop it. You can't say that
I don't
sort
know,
of
I've
thing.
gone a bit crazy, I've just gone,
No,
gone
no,
a
but
bit wild.
what if she's listening to this and she gets an eating disorder or something, or, you know, becomes bulimic because of what she's probably at home binging now.
I know.
She's leaving out the vomit and she can't get her fat fingers in her mouth. I do want to trial this new film quiz we've got, because it's, I mean, I'm excited. I think it's the best competition we've come up with, to be quite honest. I mean, Carl, you agree, don't you?
It's alright, yeah.
Yeah, it's a film-based quiz.
Right.
We'll play you a clip from a classic film. I can tell you the film we're going to play. It's The Sixth Sense.
Right.
And there'll be a question afterwards, and you can win The Sixth Sense.
On DVD.
Yeah, not the ability to sort of tell when someone's behind you, but just the film. You know. Do you believe in sort of like extrasensory sort of perception and stuff, Carl?
Ghosts and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Not ghosts, no, the fact that people maybe can sense, you know, beings.
There was a woman in on the Christian's breakfast show, right?
Yeah.
Blind woman.
Right.
Clairvoyant.
Is that her name?
Forgot. But she was a bit useless.
She's a bit useless.
I'm always worried about what's going to come out of
I'm
Carl's
worried
mouth.
what you mean. What?
Do you know what I mean?
She's a bit rubbish at being a clairvoyant.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think if you're not that good at something, don't go on the radio and do it.
Carl, you better leave.
So, what, sorry,
Well, she was saying,
so
like,
what was the relevance of her being blind? What was that for? What did you
I
tell me?
just thought it was a bit weird. I think she was using that because the fact that she can't see living people, but she can contact the dead ones.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
just-
so sorry, this is XFM
No, but I'm just-
104.9. Once
listen
again,
to you.
Carl's opinions do not necessarily reflect anyone.
Those of any human being.
Any other person alive today.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Carl,
but
so
listen-
how did she demonstrate her clairvoyance,
Right,
and why was it not very
She
convincing?
was sat in the chair you're at, right? And people called
Oh,
up and
I
said,
sensed that.
Weird.
they called up and they said, right, can you have a word with me gran?
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah, she's dead, isn't she? And it's like, yeah. She goes, ooh, and everyone's like, ooh, she knows her stuff.
It was 50-50 to be fair.
Yeah, and especially with a gran, because the person sounded about 35, so the chances are
Yeah.
they haven't got a gran anymore.
Yeah.
And it was just
Unless
sort
it's
of
the fellas from Busted, because they, in the year 3000, they've only got to a great-great-granddaughter, and that's 1,000 years, so presumably, you know, they can live a lot longer.
yeah. I just wasn't convinced anyway. I don't want to diss her because, you know, she came in and she did her stuff, and if people believe in it, I'm not going to put it down, but it just was a little bit
You
odd.
believe in it. You just think she didn't have the real power, as opposed to it being rubbish.
No, whatever. But yeah, I don't know what we were talking about there. So we've got the film thing going on.
I don't know what we were talking about.
Film.
Now time for one of our regular features. Monkey news.
Do the jingle.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news.
Right, what we're doing here is just giving you a bit of monkey news that's gone on, right? Where a monkey's been involved in it. Good little story in that.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the one that went into space? The first sort of thing they ever sent up there before man did it and all that. You see, this is what annoys me with it really. Armstrong gets all the glory, but do you know who went up there before him?
A monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dog went up first.
But what was the monkey called?
I don't know.
No, sure, okay. So it's not the most informed news bulletin.
The dog was called Leica.
Was it?
Yeah, they couldn't get it back there. They sent it up there, did a few tests and stuff, and they couldn't get it back. They weren't prepared to bring the capsule back yet. Brilliant. We could all do that.
So is that a good mission?
Well, I just think it was seeing what if the mission itself killed it, but they didn't have the technology, because of course it couldn't fly the capsule back, which it has to be manned to bring it.
Right. Well, this was the next one up then, right? So the dog must have gone first, and then they went, right, we made an error there, right? Get the monkey in, and what happened is they taught it what buttons to hit at the time that it needed to hit them, and the way they did this was like give it bananas. It was like hit the red button, and it hit the red button. They'd give it a banana,
Right.
and they go right. Reverse is the green one. Hit the green one, and then they do that and go there's a banana, and then they go right. Hit reverse, and it go and get a banana.
Right.
Hit the red, so it was taking commands on like headphones.
Right, but how were they
Is
giving
that
it the
how you
banana?
learn to do radio?
How were they giving it the banana?
What do you mean? No,
Well-
this is before it went. You wouldn't
right.
just go and put a monkey in it and go, there you go, get on with it. They'd sort of put him in one of them capsules that you get,
Yeah.
and they were on headphones.
I don't believe this happened.
Well, I'm telling you the story now. So the monkey
I don't
sat...
think they trained it to do anything. I think they sent it up there and he put electrodes coming out of it to
No,
see what.
It wasn't any of that. They did a thing like they do, like they can with animals. If you give something, like a treat, you can teach it how to do it. It's just like a dog, isn't it?
It's called Pavlovian conditioning. However, that was to see if it would salivate or go over to a particular corner, not if it could control a spacecraft.
Next one up. It's the next one up. As far as the monkey's not sat there going, oh, I'm a bit under pressure here, it's a rocket. All that's knowing is, I'm getting a banana if I hit that button. That's all the monkey's thinking about.
They wouldn't put billions of
whatever.
space
But
dollars.
how can they be sure that it's going to press the button at the right moment?
Because it's got headphones on. They're telling it. It's not
like
just,
you have now.
it's not like willy-nilly. It's not just like pop it in there and
Willy-nilly,
see.
who was that?
But what's to stop it from just hitting it any old time? Because it's a monkey and it's
Because
not a human.
Because it's trained now. But
Oh,
anyway,
it's trained.
so
It's
listen,
fully trained. Yeah, go
So
on.
what happened is, anyway,
Oh, this is absolute rubbish.
they pop the monkey in there.
Yeah.
He's got his headphones on. They go in, right, hit the green one. And I think there's something there that a little banana comes out to keep the same.
No, you're making this up.
I'm not. It's the same.
There's no way that they made a spacecraft
they can-
that had a banana dispenser.
Right,
There's
so-
no way in this world that they made a spacecraft that could go into outer space, right?
So what- so
manned
you're- so
by a
you're-
monkey with a banana dispenser.
So you're saying that it's easy to send something up to space, but you don't believe there's a little banana machine?
Right, okay,
See?
so in your world, there's a monkey and it's been conditioned and there's a
So-
little monkey dispenser,
Banana.
monkey dispenser or a
Yeah,
banana
like banana
dispenser?
dispenser, right? So it comes to the launch day, monkeys sat in there, everyone's ready, bananas are stocked up and all the rest of it. They go, right, hit the green button. Right, and the rocket goes off and what have you.
No, they would not make the monkey launch the rocket. Carl,
So-
you are living in a cartoon world.
So the rocket goes off, right?
This is absolute bollocks.
It's all going well.
I mean, I don't know
It's
what you're
all-
going to... It's not going well.
it's going
There's
well.
no way a monkey launched
It's
a
going-
rocket. There's no way a monkey launched a rocket,
So
you idiot.
it's all going on, so they go and hit the left button and it goes a
The
little bit
left
left.
button!
Right,
Oh,
so-
well-known spacecraft command. This is Houston, hit the left button. Oh, brilliant. This is what happened in Apollo 13. Hit the left button.
So it
you
goes
are-
left, yeah, it goes left.
So it goes left and it's going well.
Left! It goes left!
Yeah.
No, the moon! You're
he
going
goes,
right!
It goes for the moon, everything's going well.
Right.
They get up there, but it does whatever it does. It reverse, it comes back. Right? So then...
You are, honestly, you are brain dead.
So it's
you are
land-
one of the most stupid people. That I would rather have the monkey drive me
listen.
home than you.
So the thing is, so it lands back,
Yeah.
it does a good job and everything, it gets out, and
It's sick of bananas.
this is where it turns a bit sad, because after it done that mission, right, because it happened and it was all safe and everything, the next one would have been to send man.
Right.
So the monkey enjoyed it, and it was like, well, I want to do it again, right? But they were like,
So how did they know that? How did they know it was...
just the way it looked and what have you. It was like,
Fuck off! Just the way it looked!
So-
You are a maniac.
so the thing is though, right? So after it had done that, it was on such a high, right?
Yeah.
It could never get that high again.
Turn to drugs.
There was nothing that it could do.
Went on tour, did it?
It sort of ended up killing itself. Because it could never get that buzz that it
Right,
got.
that was absolute bollocks. None of that is true, except they sent a monkey into space, and I'll check that. Absolute drivel.
So in your mind, it committed suicide. It went on a crazy bender, drinking drugs and women. And
like
then,
it does happen. You
and then
hear
it was
about
found
it.
in
You
a
hear about
motel
it.
room. Carl, if you could have a superpower like Superman, what would your superpower be?
Can I suggest consciousness?
Yeah.
Can I have the power of thought?
Remember, you've already got opposable thumbs. Cross that one off the list.
Oh, go on, Carl.
There are so many to choose from. Telepathy, X-ray vision.
Flight, invisibility,
Choose it wisely.
strength, intelligence.
But why have I been picked?
Oh, for God's sake!
No, but I'm just saying.
It's Rob's question for you.
But I'd just say, does anyone else want this? Or, do you know what I mean?
Oh,
No,
what do you
because-
wish you
no,
could do that's
no,
impossible is
because-
the question,
no, because-
what? What do you mean?
Because with that comes a responsibility. Is what
With
I'm saying.
enormous power does come great responsibility.
So, would you like spidey senses? Is that what you're saying? Would you like some senses? Would you like some sense? The power of sense?
Come on, Carl. You know what these superheroes because they can.
I know, but
they
it
can
always
freeze
they're
things.
never happy, are they? Do you know what I mean? Spider-Man that wanted to tell that girl that he could climb walls and that. He's like, I can't. Superman didn't never tell Lewis and that.
It's Lewis. Who's Lewis?
Lewis.
Who's Lewis?
It's just a pen pal of Superman.
Lewis, his little secret chum. Yeah. All right, Superman. Hello, Lewis. What are you doing? Superman. Who are you? I can't tell you, Lewis. Brilliant.
You know, Hulk. He wasn't happy. So.
But you're being allowed to choose the superpower. You don't have to get it forced upon you like the Hulk.
Hulk, he wasn't happy. It's true. He's got a theme.
True.
He has got a theme. There's not many happy superheroes, are
But
there?
leaving aside the superheroes you're already aware of,
Yeah.
what superpowers do you want? You don't have to fight crime with it, Carl.
Everyone around the world now is thinking, what can Carl choose? Let's deliver it to him now, Carl. Think about it and give us the answer, please.
Let me just remind you of some of the other things. Invisibility.
All the time, though, or can I sort of turn that on and off?
Let's say you could turn it on and off. Would that interest you?
Yeah. I'll have that.
Right. Okay, and what would you do with this power of invisibility?
Just sort of wander about and that, just not get seen.
It's a brilliant power! It's a brilliant... And it's put to such brilliant use! It's brilliant! Well done!
And why would you want to walk around and not be seen in that? What would you gain from that?
Don't know, you could sort of go in shops when they shut, so you don't have to go.
How would you get
crowds.
in?
Just get in just before they lock up.
Oh, yeah! How would you get out?
Wait till the morning.
Brilliant.
So hang on. So that's your use of invisibility. They found the power of invisibility. You want to sneak into... Never mind. No, hang on. You want to sneak into HMV, right? Wait for 12 hours and then buy something.
Ah, I love it.
Just so that you don't have to be in there with other people.
Do you know what? I don't want it. I don't want a power.
Why not?
Because I just don't think it'll do me any good. I think it's more of a hindrance.
I love this. It's like, just think of his presents. We've given you a go, a trip into space, and the chance to be invisible.
Not happy with any of them.
Yeah, what he wants is a voucher for HMV.
Yeah. He just wants some tokens for a record shop. Carl, have you heard the big news? That Ricky Gervais is looking to take up. Well, you explain it, Gervais, because
it's not big news.
No.
What do you mean?
You're taking up boxing, is this right?
No.
What is the story? You're fighting for money?
No. Yeah, bare knuckle fighting.
No, come on, what is it?
No, all it is, I've been watching this show on cable called Born to Fight, and it's sort of late. It's a late one. We flick round, and I think it's on After Roadies. Which is like,
Roadies?
It's one bloke with a camera who goes on tour with different people. Like he went on with Motorhead. He went with the Meatloaf tribute act. He went on with Coldplay. Was in one of them. It's that, and it's the
is
sort of
this
this
when,
cheap
all the
sort
other
of cable.
channels has been switched off. This is the only one left.
Exactly. Yeah, and there's one called Born to Fight, and they just take a different story. It might be like an amateur fight, or it might be an unlicensed fight, not illegal, or it might be white collar, which I'm thinking of doing.
What's white collar?
White collar is just people who want to fight. And it's organised.
Is it like Fight Club?
Yes, but it's charity. It's safe. It's a charity do. You know, having like big events, and it's just two people that aren't boxers, aren't amateur boxers, and they get in the ring. And they do three 2-minute rounds, and they just lay into each other. They've got head guards on, and
Rick, I don't mean to alarm you, but we work together obviously, and we make the office and stuff. Your face is my fortune. I can't have
that
it
must
being...
be a bit of a worry for you.
It is. I'm not going to say, well, your heart as well is also a concern.
Yeah.
And you're eating and stuff.
But
so,
when I said I was going to get fit, you go, no, Gervais, you're only funny because you're fat.
No, I agree, this is true, but I'm saying there's a difference between being fit.
Yeah.
And I would say,
Getting
for instance, don't eat kind of, cheese and bacon, on their own.
All day.
All day. Or for breakfast. So what I'm saying is there's a difference between, exercising and then having your face beaten in. And what I'm saying is that I just don't think it's a good idea.
But I might win.
No, that's irrelevant. You're still going to take a couple of blows to the face. And the point is this, Rick, you're not going to win.
Why?
Because you are delusional. You think that you are probably the world's greatest boxer. I know, ever since I've known you, you seem to think that it's the case because you've watched all the Rocky films. And you think that's fair enough, that seems straightforward enough. But look at your physique, you've got some upper body strength, but, you've also got some lower belly strength as well, I noticed. And my concern is you're gonna go in there, and you're not only gonna be a broken man when you realise that you're just not as handy in the ring as you thought you were, but also you're gonna incur some injuries.
This is fighting talk. This is fighting talk.
The first rule of Fight Club is don't talk about Fight Club.
This ones me want to do it more now, just because of you. It was the same when Adrian didn't agree that Rocky could beat Clever Lang.
Yeah.
Oh, she made that mistake, then she made the same mistake with Drago.
Nick? At what age?
She turns up at the end to take a bit of the credit, didn't she?
When you were this kind of thin, nimble youth in your makeup and your eyeliner and all the rest of it, I bet you had no thoughts about boxing. It never came into your mind, did it? So at what age did you suddenly think, wait a minute, I've taken the wrong path in life. I could have been the world heavyweight.
I don't think I could.
When have you suddenly decided that you can suddenly be a bit street tough? I don't understand why this has suddenly come about in.
Well, I'm not putting out
life.
a shout, am I, to fight people? It's not like Noel Gallagher and Robbie Williams.
But you've got to find someone else presumably to fight with.
Yeah, but it'd probably be a businessman who wants to fight.
Right. There's something really weird about that. Don't you think that have you just listened to yourself? I want to fight I want to fight a businessman. Please may I fight a businessman?
I don't want to fight a businessman.
It's what you just said.
I want to fight someone who wants to, it's not.
I want to fight them though. I want to fight somebody.
Since you were like that, it sounds a bit mad.
Bring them on, I want to fight people.
No, but it's more the effort and the training and the commitment to it, like climbing a mountain. I mean, I think climbing a mountain and doing a marathon is ridiculously macho. It's not the fact that you can do it.
No, that's not macho compared with boxing.
Macho, isn't it? Climbing, there's no reason to climb a mountain, there's no reason to do a marathon. If you can run a mile, that's all you need. The fact that you train is whether you can do it yourself and achieve something. And this is more like the training and the learning skill and then seeing if it works. I don't want to get in there to...
But aren't you concerned about you might get beaten? Or you might get beaten up, I should say.
No, what's the worst that can happen?
You'll get black eyes, bruises, and
bruises.
Gervais, let me just remind you of the time we were working in your flat, right? And you immediately, right, I don't know to this day what happened, but you started choking. You clasped your chest. You were breathing, wheezing, right? I leapt over to you. I remember screaming, I don't know the Heimlich manoeuvre. If you've swallowed something I can't help. You gained your breath, you gained your composure. I said, what happened? Did you eat something? Did you go down the wrong way? You said, no, I swallowed some dust. I swallowed some dust. You breathed some dust in that was in the air. There was some dust in the air. You breathed that in. It knocked you out for 2 days. Rick, you were in bed for 2 days.
I love that.
I don't think you're the man for the job.
And that's some dust. What do you think this businessman's going to do?
Exactly.
He'll be permanent. Hurt you permanent.
Yeah.
He'll hurt you permanent.
You found a lump, didn't you, on your testicle once? We sat in a doctor's waiting room, I remember, for about 45
You got up and
minutes.
checked out, it was fine. I think I went twice, didn't I? I said to the doctor at one point, I said, did you check round the back?
Yeah.
I was thinking he hadn't checked it. Yeah. Oh, dear.
Just because they hadn't found anything. My point is this. You're something of a hypochondriac. You know you're something of a hypochondriac. You know that already. So, why do you think this is going to be any different?
Wow.
If you take when you take the first blow to the head, you take the punch, you'll immediately think that you've got some kind of, brain disorder.
No,
and you'll be done
I've always
for,
wanted to do
and
it,
you'll
but I
give
just
up.
thought, I wanted to make sure, I wanted to know that I definitely lost my looks.
Right.
And, I've seen some of the publicity shots, I've got mirrors and mouths, so now, because I've definitely lost my looks now, I've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So I want, maybe a younger, more handsome man, I want to teach him a lesson.
I'll end with this.
Right.
For people who listen to this show regularly, you already sound like you're punch drunk. Alright? And that's just your natural way of talking. Please, let's not do the real thing.
Oh, play a record.
You're talking about, because you're talking about Zoo, though, and I was watching the news last night, and it had, a feature about Madame Tussauds. And it was saying that they scrapped many of the royal family. Now, I don't mean this, but I've never understood the appeal of Madame Tussauds. I just, genuinely, with no irony, cannot see the appeal of sort of having my photo taken next to a waxwork of J-Lo.
I know.
I can't compute why that would be fun. I don't know. What is it? Do they move? Because they don't move, do they?
No,
They
of
just
course
stand
they don't.
there.
I know.
So genuinely, I mean, it's so crowds of people queuing up, and people queuing up to have their photo taken with the royals. And
the queue would put me off immediately.
well, yeah.
I mean, it's just down the road, isn't it?
So you go home to your friend and go, there's me, there's me with Kylie.
It's
There's me
not
with Britney
Kylie, is it?
Spears.
Her eyes
Oh,
look
no,
a bit
it's just a
funny.
wax effigy.
Oh, I thought you met
Yeah.
her.
No, it's just a waxwork.
Right.
It's not even the real person. If you've been to Madame Tussauds, if you have any understanding of why the appeal there, email and tell me, 'cause I've no
let's
understanding.
not diss them, because they might melt down, Ricky Tomlinson one day to do me.
Sure.
You never know, you know.
Or Rick Waller.
Yeah. So I don't want to put them off.
But seriously, I mean, I'm not being
Roy
flippant,
Kinnear might be in there.
but what is the appeal? Genuinely, what is the appeal? To walk around a number of life-size
But that's the same
effigies.
as lookalikes. When I see it at the back of the stage, and it's got like, I don't know, Susan Gooding is Caprice.
Yeah.
And you want to go, what do you do with her? Oh, 500 quid, she comes and stands at your party.
Yeah.
And people go, she looks a bit like Caprice. Yeah, don't go too close. She does, yeah.
It's like Caprice over there.
No, but it's...
It looks like...
Yeah.
There was one in the back of the stage which was, so-and-so is Jordan. And it was a woman who's sort of buxom girl, wearing very little.
Buxom! Are you from the West Country?
I am. But I thought to myself, if you're willing to get your knocks out pretending to be Jordan, just get them out and become a pastry model. Stop pretending to be Jordan.
And call yourself after another Middle Eastern country.
Yeah.
Don't just... Yeah, don't just...
Very odd.
I know. God.
Very strange. But you've got a lookalike now, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's so odd.
But it's a bloke, right? Sort of at his desk, right?
In the picture.
In the picture, and it's David Brent.
Yeah.
And it's got Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
So...
I don't remember, it's just an old fat bloke with a beard.
Alright, don't have a go.
Alright.
Play a record, Carl. No need for that.
You ever wet the bed?
I honestly haven't.
I've never wet the bed. Never wet the bed.
Never.
Okay, let's play a record then.
Oh, we did a bit of,
You've wet the bed, have you?
Wow, not as such.
Well, you may as well tell us.
Well, yes then.
Well, is there a story attached?
Well, I remember once, right?
Well, was this when you were a child?
Sort of.
How old?
26.
Okay.
And, oh god. Oh, it's another story involving... Anyway, right, once...
just wasn't a sink handy.
Oh god.
Come on, Gervais.
Well, once... I went to, stay, went down to Brighton with, Jane for a party, her sister's party, and, we were staying at her parents' house, her parents were away, and, first of all, I got too drunk. I don't think I'd known her very long, might have been, and, I remember, it was a fancy dress party, and I didn't go as fancy dress, but I remember laying on the floor, trying to trip people over because I was so drunk.
The sort of thing that's hilarious if you're drunk.
Yeah, imagine Jane going, "No, that's my boyfriend. I'm so proud." To all her family, and then we got a cab. I got a cab journey home to her. I thought I didn't remember, and apparently the cab driver going, "Is he all right?" Because I was going, "I'll be sick. I'll be sick." Jane, she's going, "Yeah, he's fine." Then I laid on the bathroom floor, and Jane timed it. It was 45 minutes of me singing "Right by Your Side" by the Eurythmics, and then I went to bed.
And apparently, I got up in the middle of the night, walked round the bed, and just thought the bed was a toilet. And Jane said, "Ricky!" I went, "What?" She went, "You're pissing on me." I went, "Well, you don't need to wake me up." And then just got back to bed.
You urinated on the bed?
All right, yeah.
Bit of hip hop.
Oh, man alive.
This is another example of how people can just exploit you and make fun of you when you're tall.
Yeah.
I was quite tall. I've always been like about 6'7" for quite a while now. And when I was about 16, I went to a big New Year's celebration in Bristol, where I come from. And everyone kind of congregates in this big sort of part of town, and there's all people dancing around, like in Trafalgar Square. And I was there, and somehow I just picked up a balloon somewhere along the line, one of those kind of helium sort of balloons, and I was holding that, sort of dancing around. And these two girls came up to me, and I was thinking, yeah, okay, you know, it's New Year's Eve, brilliant, you know, that's my kind of party.
Yeah.
And they came out, they went, "Hey."
Once a year.
And they said, "You going to be here for long?" And I went, "Well, maybe." And they said, "It's just that we've arranged to meet back at you in about an hour." I went, "What do you mean?" I went, "Well, it's just because we can see you wherever you are. Don't worry, you can move around and stuff. We'll see you with the balloon. Just arranged to meet some friends."
I
here."
love that. A landmark.
So, like,
As pilots use that. Oh, we're just coming in. There's, when we see Steve Merchant, we'll be descending to Bristol Temple Mead.
What's really funny is New Year's Eve, Trafalgar Square, you got a huge column, but they use
Yeah.
Steve as like the meeting point.
Steve's got a
It's
huge
brilliant.
column.
Brilliant, Rick. Well done. Award-winning comedy from Ricky Gervais.
Like I say, the man with the frisbee. What happens if he had a mate who said, "It's rubbish that"? He wouldn't have done it.
I love the fact that you think the frisbee is the pinnacle of invention.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing.
No, it's an example of something that, you know, if he was on some programme where you said, "I've invented this," they'd go, "Get out." They wouldn't give him time of day to say, "Right, I've made this thing, it's out of plastic." You throw it about. What for? Well, you just chuck it about on the beach. What's the point? It was a bit of fun, innit? No, I don't like it. How
Okay,
many
and
of
that was an
them-
argument with himself.
No, but do you know what I mean? It's a popular little thing, and I'm just saying it's easy to put ideas down.
But you've never even come up with an idea as good as the frisbee, and that's saying something.
I came up with a clippable mat that goes on
What?
a cup, and it's a good little thing. I haven't followed it through yet.
A what?
A clippable mat.
What's a clippable mat? What does that
Clippable
involve?
mat that you stick on a cup, so you can put your cup down on a table without having to go, "Oh, where's that mat?" It's clipped to the cup all the time, and you put the cup down wherever you want because it's got a mat on it.
I think I've seen that.
But why does it have
No,
to be
you haven't.
clipped to
No, I
it?
think
Why
I
couldn't it
have.
just be built into the cup?
Because
So it clips onto, you got our special cups, it doesn't
Yeah.
clip onto every cup.
no, but just the same way that every sauce is different. You don't say, "Oh, I'm sick of this sauce," it doesn't fit a mug. You use the sauce of that. I mean, I don't use sauces. Just don't buy that sort
But
of
isn't a
furniture.
saucer what you're talking about?
Kind of, yeah, but it's clippable.
But why is the clippability so important to you?
So you don't have to keep finding the mat when you put the cup down. It's constantly clipped to the
But
the
why
cup.
does it have to be clippable? Because that suggests it's removable. Why not just have something where it's constantly attached? What's to stop you from losing that in much the same way as you lose the coasters? which
Do
have
we
caused
need
problem?
this? Do we need a
But-
clippable coaster?
But let's ask him like it's the Dragon's Den. Let's ask
Okay,
him
yeah.
now.
What?
We've got money to invest
Yeah.
on your clippable
Right.
cup.
What's
Now
your
pitch
problem?
this idea to us. Tell it. How would you sell this
Well,
idea
you,
to
you
us?
just said, what was your question then?
Brilliant. So you're not listening. Let's start
No,
again.
I am.
Okay.
I
no,
just-
imagine you've walked in. You've
What
just
is it
walked
for? What is it for? Is it a coaster to stop the heat from the cup burning the
In.
varnish,
Rick, let him explain it.
or
Let's-
is it a saucer to stop
Well, look
spills?
at it.
Let's have you pitch this idea to us. Just you've never met us before. We're investors. Tell us. Explain this to us. Sell it to us.
Right. We're living in a world where furniture is important to people. They spend a lot of money on it, don't they, furniture? There's so many
absolutely.
furniture shops out there.
Yeah.
All different types of wood from all over the world.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? If something's come from the Amazon, you don't want a coffee stain on it.
No, you don't know.
Right. But we're living in a world as well where people don't use saucers.
What do you mean
when
they
you
don't?
go out and buy, because people.
What do you
don't-
mean we're living in a world where they don't use saucers? Yeah, there's loads of saucers, yeah.
Because I know people who buy cups singly.
Right.
Because there's only two people living in a flat, so you don't buy a big box, because in a big box of like plates and that, you get things like, what's the plate that's above a saucer but below a plate?
The plate that's above a saucer, but below a plate. So it's a plate, but it's below a plate.
But it's a size that you sort of go, what am I doing with this?
So, what would it be? A side plate?
Maybe,
A
but
plate that you'd have alongside your regular dinner plate, right?
Maybe you put a
Maybe.
bread roll on or something in a restaurant.
Maybe,
Yeah, okay.
but you
What's
don't
your
need
point? What do
No,
you mean?
this is fascinating to me. Because this
What-
is his best attempt now to
Okay.
try and attract investment.
do you know where your mats are at home?
I haven't got mats. Don't use them
Why not?
because it doesn't bother me. I haven't got any highly polished furniture from the Amazon.
Right, Steve, have you got any sort of...
I've got some coasters and I use the coasters.
And do you know where they are when you need one?
Well, yes, because they're always at the place where I would normally put down a mug of hot tea, i.e.
Yeah.
on a table or a coffee table.
Right, now, do
I
you
keep
find...
if I had a highly polished table from the Amazon, I'd keep my coasters on it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying now is, what happens if you get up with your cup of tea, you're a busy man, right? This is
Yeah.
what I'm saying, we're living in a world where people are busier than
Yeah,
ever.
go on.
Not everybody can sit down and enjoy a cup of tea sat in the same place.
Right.
You get up and you might move into another room.
Well, you haven't got a polished table in there from the Amazon, so it doesn't
No, but
matter.
you might be working on another expensive table
Oh, fine. We'll have a coaster there
that
as
has
well.
a
then.
computer on.
My question is this. One, does it fit all mugs? Or do I have to buy a special mug to have this special
Well,
bit
we can,
attached?
we can work it whatever way you want. We can either look at the standard size mug and say, let's appeal to everyone, or we can get in touch with some mug company,
How is it clipped?
just like little plastic clips that clip onto it,
Yeah.
and then you clip it off and you clean it. They're dishwasher proof, by the way. I
Yeah,
think
they don't need that
But
at all.
why can't you just make a mug that has something built
built
in the
in.
base of the mug to prevent it from making the mark?
No, I don't
Because it's
need
only
that.
the heat that makes the mark, isn't it, really?
I just want to say now, that's a pointless idea, and I'm out.
Right, but what about the idea that you've just suggested then, with the mug with the saucer built in?
Yeah.
What about will we do that together?
But that's not your idea, that's my idea.
Yeah, but without my idea, you wouldn't have had that.
Well, but that's absurd. We're having a conversation, I've come up with an idea, now I've got the money.
do you
I've
want-
got the money,
do you
and
want
I'm
in-
going to go off with that idea.
Yeah, you haven't painted it anyway, and it's a rubbish idea, and you couldn't
It's not
paint it.
rubbish, because I've just thought as well, that'll be good for putting biscuits on the side as well.
Oh, God!
Okay, no,
And
let's
that
not.
means we can get rid of that plate that I don't know
By
what to
the
do
way,
with.
now this is broadcast, you can never patent this idea because it's out in public domain.
Rick, why don't we see if there's anyone out there who's willing to invest in this idea? Are you a mug manufacturer? Are you a mug designer? Are you someone who's got any interest whatsoever in this idea? Do you think it's a saleable idea? And more importantly, would it be not great to have a picture of Carl's face on the mat?
Because it's perfectly round.
Perfectly round.
As well, and you'd scold him every time
Yeah.
you,
So there'd be a certain satisfaction in that.
Yeah, well, if Peter Jones is listening, or that Ballantyne fella, or, what's his name?
Any of the big investors on that show, or indeed
yeah.
any investors anywhere, podcast at rickygervais.com. Get in touch. Tell us how we can move forward with this brilliant new idea.
Pathetic.